Welcome everyone to a long time ago, our top 10 TVC most wanted. Now we've picked our most wanted for the prequels, and now it's time for us to take a look at the original trilogy. Martin is the TVC collector, so he's going to pick out his top 10 as always, and the rules are that he cannot pick one that has already been produced, even if the figure needs an update. And now our other rule comes into play, which is that you can't pick any of the original 96 because we expect to get them at some point anyway. Anything to add, Martin?
No. Just the reason we're not going to pick ones that were already made, even if they need a retool or an update, simply because we wanted to pick 10 that had never been made before. Put a bit more interest in it for me in that way. That's the only reason we put those rules in. But it's been really good fun putting the lists together for the original trilogy. So I'm eager to start.
Okay, well, let's with that then get on with Star Wars Episode 4: A New Hope. Let's hear your number 10.
Okay, number 10, I've gone for Baru Lars.
Okay.
I mean, let's be quite honest with you, not the most action-packed character in the world, but I did think with a couple of my choices at the moment, Hasbro are doing their Tatooine themed year, aren't they? Where they're trying to release
Back to Tatooine, wasn't it?
Back to Tatooine, that's it. Yeah.
Return to Tatooine.
Sorry, yes, Return to Tatooine, and so we may end up getting some of these characters that we're listing, and if they're already really revealed after you've seen this, we did record this a few weeks ago. With that theme in mind, I've gone for number 10, Baru Lars.
Okay, yeah. I mean, there are better characters out there, aren't there?
It's true, there are better characters, but they're kind of like important characters in the Star Wars saga. And while they're not the most interesting, perhaps, figures to look at, again, I do base a lot of my decisions on how the card back could look and how well it will display on the wall. So, having those two pivotal characters in the movie would be great for me personally.
Well, that tells us our number 9 then.
Yeah, number 9, shocker, Owen Lars.
Well, do you know what they have? They have more screen time and more lines than a lot of the ones that have already been produced in TVC. So I guess why not?
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
We could even have a skeleton that gets packed in with them so that you can.
Yeah. All right. Number 8 then. Come on.
Right, number 8, I have gone for Jack Pawkins, one of the portly X-wing pilots, I suppose, is a polite way of putting it. I've got a problem here, and he instantly gets blown up. He'd be a great X-wing pilot character to have, purely because and I'm sure we've had him in other lines. In fact, I'm certain we've had him in other lines. But for the vintage collection, it'd be great to get a larger X-wing pilot in the X-wing outfit. The card back, there's some great shots you could use of him in the cockpit for the card back. It'd be nice to eventually one day have all of the X-wing pilots that are featured in the New Hope that are on the attack on the Death Star. So he's one of the ones with a lot of lines. So that's why I picked him, really. So number 8, Jack Pawkins.
Yeah, good. Number 7.
Okay, number 7, I've gone for General Dodonna. This is a character that's sort of been in both Star Wars and Rogue One, played by different actors, obviously. But I decided to put him in A New Hope because I'm just envisioning there's that really cool scene where they're all stood around the table monitoring the battle. With him, Princess Leia, and some other officers, and that'd be great on the card back to use. Again, not the most interesting looking character. I mean, he's got sort of long robes on. Probably be packed in with perhaps a blaster or something, which you never actually see in the movie. But I've kind of, for nostalgia reasons, a lot of my picks are, well, they've never made this figure before in the vintage collection, obviously, which is why we're picking it. But also, they're quite. They're sort of, they're not main characters, but they're talking characters in the movie. And as much as I hope the vintage collection goes on forever, and I hope they manage to complete every single character possible, but that's not going to happen. So I've picked ones I would really like to see on a card back.
Fair enough. Yeah. Let's go on to number 6 then.
Okay, number 6, I've gone for another X-wing pilot. I've gone for Theron Net, and he was Red 10 Gold Leader's wingman. He's the one who says, "There's too much interference. Red 5, can you see them where you are?" He again, he's got a massive speaking role. He's got that quite amusing scene where he's trying to back off from the TIE fighters following down the trench. So again, he's quite a pivotal X-wing pilot. I love the X-wing outfits. I think they look great on the figures. Not only do they look good on the figures, but they look good on the card backs. It's another great character in my mind. Very small background character, but still great. So number 6, Theron Net.
And now somebody will probably correct me, but I do believe this is one person or one character that's not been made on any line.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Now, I know that because he has his astromech droid, which is R2-X2, which I do have. And I believe all of the X-Wing pilots have their astromech droids, and there's a picture of them all, but R2-X2 doesn't have his pilot with him.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I'm pretty sure that one has never been made before. Yeah.
Well,
so there you go.
Keith will correct you if you're wrong.
He will, yeah. Somebody will let me know, I'm sure, but I'm pretty sure, yeah. So that is Martin's first 5. Let us know what you think. Let us know, of course, your favourite one. And now let's crack on with your top 5, Martin. Number 5.
Okay, number 5, I have gone for Commander Praji, I think it's pronounced. He's an Imperial officer, and he's an Imperial officer who's in the black Imperial outfit. So harkening back to the old vintage Kenner figures, when the Imperial officer came in a black outfit rather than sort of the greeny grey outfit that they actually have in the film. It'd be great to have one of the Imperial officers in the black outfit. He's the one on the Tantive 4 with Darth Vader, and he's sort of talking about the Senate, etc. So yeah, he's a great sort of, he's got a great look to him, the actor. So I'd love to see him on a card back. But as I said, most of all, I'd like to see the black Imperial officer outfit, because that's a great looking outfit, and it harkens back to the old vintage days.
Yeah. Is there no Imperial officers in that outfit in the current line then?
Not in the vintage collection. We have the sort of the greeny grey outfit. We have a Tarkin in vintage collection 1.0. There is the black sort of Death Squad commander outfit, but it's not the Imperial officer outfit. So yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah. Number 4.
Okay, number 4. Big favourite of mine. I'd love to see him in the vintage collection. Another X-wing pilot, Biggs Darklighter.
Getting them all in there.
I was tempted to put him in his outfit from the deleted scene. Because there is a precedence that the vintage collection has released deleted scenes. In fact, I've just given me an idea of characters from deleted scenes for another top 10. So yeah, I in this case I would pick him in his X-wing pilot, because he's got that awesome helmet with the yellow check pattern on the top, and again that on a car back would look awesome. And I'm saving Hasbro a lot of money here, because I'm doing X-wing pilot outfits, so all they really need to do
nice and easy.
Change the head, perhaps a little change on the outfit, but essentially it'd be the same mold. So they can easily do this, apart from Jack.
But
but yeah, I'd love to see a big Darklighter figure. Yeah,
fair enough. Right, number 3 then.
Number 3. Now I originally had this guy at number 1, but I've changed him now to number 3, and his name is Labria. And he's a Deveronian, and for those who don't remember, he's the red-faced guy with the 2 big horns. He looks like the devil. Hence, I'm sure that's why they gave him the name Deveronian.
In the cantina, smiling away. Yeah,
that's right. He's in the cantina. Sort of, he's sitting at the back, and then there's one close-up shot of him. He was also not his character, but one of his species has been seen in obviously the Clone Wars animated series, and one of his species was seen in Mandalorian season 1 during the prison break.
Yeah.
Trying to rescue that Twi'lek chap. So, and he was played by the guy who does the voice for Savage Opress, and his name is escaping me right now.
Clancy Brown.
Clancy Brown. See, you're dropping the knowledge, mate.
Yeah.
Clancy Brown. So
Yeah.
we've never had his species in the vintage collection. So again, this opens the door to, some more figures down the line of the same
True.
species, just slightly changed. So yeah, number 3, Labria, the Deveronian from the Cantina.
Cool. Nice. I like that one. Yeah. Number 2.
Okay, number 2, I've gone for the action figure that was meant to come with the HasLab Cantina, but we didn't quite meet the stretch goal to get him. He was the last figure on the list, and
Of
it was
course.
Ariel
Yeah.
Schust.
Yeah.
It's an easy one because if Hasbro were going to release him for the Cantina, they must have some sort of work towards making him. So for Hasbro to make this one, I'm sure it'd be quite easy for them to do, and I'm sure we'll see him in the future anyway. But he makes my list purely because I was a little bit disappointed that we didn't quite reach that stretch goal.
Yeah.
And
Well, how does that work then? With regards to the stretch goals, if they don't make the last one, like what would the difference be between that card and if they were to make it in the future?
Well, they would probably will release him. They'll wait a bit of time before they do to sort of make it, not obvious that they were going to release him anyway. But the key to the HasLabs now is they're always going to re-release the figures, I think, with the HasLabs, but it's going to be on an exclusive card back when it's comes with the HasLabs. I'm pretty 100% certain that all of the HasLabs that we've had over the years, including the Cantina coming up, is we'll get all those characters again, but we'll get a different card back with them on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right then, number 1. Let's have it.
Okay, number 1. I would love this figure so much. It's always been one that I've really, really wanted, and again, it's one that could possibly be announced in the next few months because of the Return to Tatooine thing that Hasbro are doing, and it is Garandan, who's a Kubaz, and he's the guy with the long snout who's the Imperial
spy.
informant. Yeah, the spy.
Yeah.
That guy.
Lovely impression there.
Yeah, he looks really cool. He was the guy in the Mandalorian who sort of summoned the taxis on the ice planet in episode 1.
That's
wasn't
right.
he?
Yeah.
So not that obviously the same character,
The same species. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, bring him out. You've got another figure you can make down the line. But I mean, this he's a great character. He's a great looking character. He'd make a brilliant card back. And he's one of those background characters that has something to do in Star Wars, like a lot of them do. Maybe not much, but enough to sort of make you go, "Oh yeah, he's really good." They really thought him out really well, and the design's great. So he's always been one I've wanted. So yeah, number 1, Garandan.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant pick, and that does seem to be one from watching all the March Madness. That does seem to be like top of a lot of people's lists. It's not just you. I think that's, I think that is pretty big. What would I pick from that list? I think I've got to go with Garandan too, because I think it's a great choice. Yeah, so that's my pick for the week. But as always, we like to put in a vehicle as well. So what are you going to go for there?
Okay, now I've done my research, and I couldn't see this vehicle that's been released on the Vintage Collection yet. So I've gone for the classic Darth Vader's TIE Fighter from A New Hope. I think that's it has to be done. Really, it's such a classic design. We don't see it again in any of the other films. So yeah, that's my pick.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant choice. Well, yeah, that's it then for this week. Do you agree with Martin's picks? Let us know in the comments and let us know your top pick. I'm sure you're all in agreement that it's Garandan, like us. Drop a like on the video. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss next week, where we do our most wanted for Empire Strikes Back. We'll see you later.